Hey, what's up, YouTube? Just one quick ground rule. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not gonna say who I am, where I was from, or anything like that. This is just a review slash rant on the way a certain company, big time company, treats their employees and their guests. This company is Toys R Us. You have probably seen maybe a few videos on YouTube, customers being pissed off about them. There's one guy that I think is probably just faking it. There are a few genuine though ones, and there's even a few employees ones. Which is like myself. I am an ex-employee. I quit a couple months ago, and these are the reasons why. Um, One thing I hated right off the bat was the way you check people out, or the cashiers would check people out. Normally, I like going to a store, giving them my stuff. They scan it. I give them my money. I'm done. Um, that's not how it works there, and it's getting to be like that with most retailers, which is, ugh. Um, they got 4 questions. They ask if you have a rewards card. If you don't, they try and sign you up for one. That one's free. That one's actually free. Gets you coupons and all that shit, but it's not what it's meant to be. It's kind of over exaggerated on how awesome it is. You have to spend more money than before you get any kind of deals than you really should. I think it's like $500 to get $5 back. Yeah, fuck that. Um, the next one is BBPs. That one's a warranty and it depends on what you're buying. So if you're buying a Power Wheel, they have a 2-year and a 3-year one, and it's pretty expensive. I mean, like, god awful expensive. You can get the same warranty at Walmart for literally $70 less, probably. Um, the next one is the credit card. Um, Avoid the credit card, at least at Toys R Us. Most people avoid credit cards in general. They have one already or two. They hate the fact that they even have the two. They don't want another one. I just even said fuck that question altogether. So you're spending like 10 minutes in line, or 10 minutes at the register even, just to get checked out for maybe one or two things. That's not cool. Their customer service kind of sucks. Now their attitude is, if you don't like it, well, too bad. This is how it is. Before, it was at least they would try to work with you, but they were still trying to keep their rules. They were trying to be nice, but they couldn't be. Now they're just like, well, we kind of tried, so whatever, fuck you. Um, so as that, I would just say, fair warning. They don't really care about you. They care about the money in your wallet. They don't care about your kid. Guaranteed, they don't care about your kid. They kind of view them as just a snot-bagged piece of shit because they destroy the store pretty much. They absolutely hate that. They hate it if you don't hold your kid's hand pretty much. If you let your kid just travel around touching stuff, they hate it because they have to clean up after them, and they're lazy. They don't want to clean up after them. So yeah, don't even bother bringing your kids there. And it's more than just if you don't want them touching stuff yourself. It's just as a fact that they don't care about them half the time. Okay, they train you on, you're supposed to more like, if you have your kid with you, they're supposed to pay attention to the kid more because it's a kid's store. um they don't. Half the time they pretend like the kid doesn't even exist. They talk to you, the parent, more. Um, if your kid cries or is talking to you, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's nice." Yeah, that's not cool. So they're not kid friendly at all. They're not parent friendly. They especially hate parents. Um, their favorite customer is the lone parent or whatever that doesn't have their kid or husband with them or wife. So yeah, it's not even a cool place. Um, oh, what else is there? Um, I guess now as an ex-employee, I can tell you a few things that they do with their employees. Before it wasn't that bad of a place to work. It was pretty cool. Until they started later on pushing more for us to push those numbers I was talking about on the registers, the questions and all that. Even when you're out in the aisle, if you're not on a register, they want you to push those same questions before you even get to the register. Like, hey, you should think about signing up for the credit card, or if you don't have a rewards card, sign up for it, or this has a BBP on it. Will you get it? Will you get it? Huh, huh, huh. Will you get it? Will you get it? Will you get it? Fuck you. Um, so, yeah, I didn't enjoy that. I didn't do that at all. Um, it was my old manager. I had two managers when I worked there. The newest one came in just before I left, and she's pretty much the reason why I left. Um, and I'll tell you why. My old manager was pretty lenient on all that stuff. He's like, just ask them once. If they don't want it, move along, pretend like you didn't even ask. The new one is push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Don't move on to the next question until you get it from them, and that's bullshit. So, anyways, excuse me. So, what was I thinking? Hours wise, you need the hours obviously. If you want money, you have to be there. Duh, you're paid hourly. They the newer you are, the less hours you get. That's kind of typical with a lot of places. Um, some places will start you off with a few hours and then immediately just boost them. Um, Toys R Us, it takes like a year before you even get anywhere close to decent hours. And I say decent loosely because decent for them is 20. Um, when I started there, I got 15 hours a week. I didn't get more than 15 hours until the week of Christmas Eve, and I got 22 hours, and that was it. After Christmas Eve, I got 10 hours a week, and that was until March. 10 hours a week, that was even lucky if I got 10 hours. It was more like 8. Um, in March was when I had my review, and they're like, yeah, you're doing so awesome. We're going to boost your hours. Here's a raise, blah, blah, blah. It was a 30-cent raise. Minimum wage up to 9.34. Yeah, woo. Um, so I gotta lean back here, get comfy. I'm starting to give myself a headache. Um, I'm thinking I'll just skip on to what really pissed me off or what really made me start hating them. They got really lazy. Most bosses, it's stereotype. They're lazy. They don't want to do anything. They make you do everything. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, here's the thing. That's pretty much exactly what I'm about to say. Though the thing was, they made an effort to piss you off while telling you that they're lazy. Or, I mean, they would tell you they're lazy. They wouldn't just act lazy or pretend like they're working. They would pretend like they were working and tell you to do stuff and tell you that they're lazy. And they would make an effort to show you that they're busy being lazy. I had a manager, or she was a supervisor, that would just sleep on the job all the time, never get in trouble for it. Um, we had one supervisor and the assistant manager. They're like best friends, though they talk shit about each other all the time. Um, then what else was there? The new manager, and we'll probably, if I don't just go right into it from here, we'll get into it in a minute, is god awful, bipolar, whatever the fuck she is, crazy. Um, yeah, let's just get into it already. Because that's where half the shit, or most of the shit I have to say is, during the first season, or this first season was fine. Second season was kind of pushing it. I was pretty much pissed off with it. I didn't want to take another season. Hell, I wanted to be out of there before that season. Um, Now and then I was like, I ain't gonna be here for a third. So I started looking for other jobs and all that. Obviously, doing the responsible thing to do. If I don't like my job, find another one. Duh. So here's the thing: the new manager comes in. Immediately, she makes an impression on all of us that she's going to be awesome because everybody's hours got a major boost. Here's why: the old manager, and this is like the only real thing I have against him, is he would literally cut people's hours so he would get the save hour bonus, manager bonus thing at the end of the year. Kind of selfish, right? Right. Well, this manager's like, okay, well, everybody's hours can go up because they really can. And everyone got like a 10-hour boost. That's not much, but if you're already getting like 15, 20 hours, that's pretty good. Mine went from 20 to about 28 on average. Then after she got her like face, that oh she's actually really cool, then she let her true side kind of come out. Um, what was it? She with the bipolar thing. Notice how I called her bipolar bitch all the time or whatever. The oh my mom. I say that a lot, don't I? She would flip on you all the time. She would pretend to be like your best friend, joke with you, all that, kind of like the old manager. As soon as you make the one mistake that day, little tiny mistake, she would look at you and treat you like you're the stupidest son of a bitch ever. And she did this normally with me. I mean, rarely did she act like my best friend. She would just look at me like some dumb redhead, pretty much, or redneck or anything. Like, really? What the fuck? And I'm like, really? What the fuck is with you? Pretty much. So, I didn't get what her attitude was with me. Probably just she felt threatened by me or something because I was really good at my job, or just threatened with back of house people in general because we were really the only ones that did anything there. There were a few floor people that did. I'm not saying they don't, but back of house people were pretty much the stars there. Um, um, so her attitude was if you got the numbers, if you ripped the customers off, and these are her exact words, if you rip the customers off, you will get your hours, you will get your paycheck. Pretty much what her attitude is, if you get my rewards cards, if you get me credit cards, BVPs, if you steal people's money, I will give you hours. So these are the people that would actually fall for that are the dumb ones, the ones that would call customers on the employees' radios and all that. Um, and that did happen. I'm not making that up. They so the ones that are actually doing a good job are getting totally gypped here, and that's not cool. There's also what else was there? She had a real attitude with me, a lot. Just well, I already said she figured I was stupid or whatever. I don't know, and I didn't like that. And I had a mind of my own. I let people know that this isn't right. Um, and I wasn't the only one. The one of the other back of house people would do that too. Um, so she pretty much, if you ever have a mind of your own, she gets an agenda of how to get rid of you. And the only way I won this is because I left first before she could fire me. And I can tell that she's getting ready to fire some people is because I have a friend that I got a job there that she's doing the exact same thing she did to me to her. And the only reason why she hasn't left yet is because she doesn't have a new job. So anyway, I was fed up with it. I found a new job. I got called for an interview for this new place. Told her I got it. Immediately pissed off. She's like, "Oh, so you're gonna quit on us now, huh?" And I said, "I never said anything of the sort. I'm telling you right now, I'm planning on having two jobs. That's how it is." And that's what my plan was. I was gonna be nice about it. I was gonna try and keep that Toys R Us as long as possible because that's double the money. Well, here's the thing. It wasn't double the money. If you go there, and I knew this. I knew this going in. I had a feeling, at least, that if you get a second job while you work for Toys R Us will just be like, well, and they will cut whatever little hours you're getting in fucking half. I mean, in fucking half. And that is if you're lucky. If you're someone that normally gets 10 hours a week, consider yourself getting 5 hours to literally 0 hours. Zero. I had a friend that works at the mall now. That was his second job. They cut his hours to 5 hours a week. And then the next week it was 0 hours. And then the week after that was back to 5. 0. 5, 0, 5, 0. Went on like that. Until he finally just said, you know what? Here's my 2 weeks. I'm done. And after he gave his 2 weeks, he wasn't even scheduled. They just like, okay, whatever. So I wasn't even going to do that. I was like, you know what? I'll try it. If that's what they're going to do to me, I'll just quit. I'm not even going to do it. So that's what happened. They gave me their attitude that I'm leaving them, they hate me now, whatever. And then they started treating me like shit. They decided they're gonna, and they even did this before I had my second job. I think they started doing this when I told them, I'm looking for a second job, because I let them know every step of the way on that I'm getting a second job. I've applied for a few places. I got an interview here. Oh look, I got hired. As soon as I told them I'm looking, they would start not scheduling me for breaks. They would start forgetting I even had breaks. They'd start getting upset if I'm like, look, I have to take a lunch between now and here. Why haven't I done it now? Then they'd be like, oh, well, what the fuck you. If I need to take a lunch, I'm taking a motherfucking lunch. So here's the thing. They started having that attitude with me. They started treating me like shit. They started making fun of me. They started forgetting my breaks, forgetting I was even scheduled. You know how many times I went into work and they're like, oh, what the hell are you doing here? Literal words. I just look at them, show them the schedule. I'm supposed to be here. They're like, oh, well, I guess you can go home now because we didn't have anything for you. What the fuck? Seriously, that's bullshit. So that set me off. I looked for another job. I was like, I'll try and get a second job, but if this doesn't even go anywhere close to good, I'm leaving. And that's exactly what happened. I told them I got my second job, and here's my schedule. My second job, or my new job now, I guess I can call it, the schedule comes out a couple of weeks before Toys R Us. So I could print out my schedule with the second job and give it to Toys R Us and be like, here's my schedule, work around it, That's typically how a second job should work, is the schedules work around each other. They wouldn't even do that. Even though they told me they would do that. That works perfectly. We can do that. Here's how they work around it. There's a schedule. Let's put 4 hours on that week, 6 hours on that one. On my last day of work, I remember last day of work pretty well. They treated me like shit. They pretend like I wasn't even there. I asked them questions about, hey, how are we doing this? They're like, meh, and walk off. Are you fucking kidding me? How? Thanks for the support, Toys R Us, you motherfuckers. So here's the thing. I get there, 6 in the morning. It's a trucker shift. Start down socking. They're like, oh, why are you doing it that way? Why are you doing it this way? Blah, blah, blah. And if I have a question for them, they ignore me, whatever. So I come home at 10. I'm like, that was just bullshit. Talk it over with my dad. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he quit today or whatever. And my mom, I talked to everybody. I'm like, I'm thinking about quitting. I just can't do it anymore. And they're like, well, do what you got to do. Fine. I go down there. And I'm not even positive that I'm going to do it yet when I go down there. This is on the same day, by the way. It's later that night. And I'm looking around and I see the schedule and I saw that 4 hours, then 6 hours. I'm like, fucking A, why even bother them giving 2 weeks? That's not even worth my gas. Okay, I live 40 minutes away from Toys R Us now. I didn't originally, but I do now. So it took about, an eighth of a tank, maybe just one way. Because I don't have a freeway that goes in between. It's a lot of stop and go, so it kills my gas mileage, even though it's like 30 miles a gallon or something like that. So I get down there and go back. That's a fourth of a tank. I look at him like, you're giving me 10 hours in the next 2 weeks. That's not even enough to pay for the gas to come in anymore. I'm done. I'm sorry. I gotta quit. And luckily for me, the manager that was there, it was actually the nice one, the one that actually tries to do a good job. There is one, believe it or not, that will do that out there in somewhere in Toys R Us land. There is one manager, and I swear to God, you guys better promote her because fucking A, she could do shit. Now though, I still get news because I have a friend that works there of what they're doing. Ever since I left, it's like I caused a fucking shockwave because they sit there and now that I've had an attitude and I've had my way, they make sure that no one else does, pretty much. They, now that I've left, my friend is the target pretty much because she's the other one that has a mind of her own. They written her up twice for stupid shit. One of them being she was out with her sister. Her sister is on antidepressants right now, just started. And it's not very good. I mean, like a lot of pills, it gets worse before it gets better. And it's one of those kind of things. So she's out taking care of her sister and they said they called her. They called me. This is 2 months after I quit. They shouldn't be fucking bothering me. They call me wondering where she's at. They're like, oh, hi, this is blah, blah, blah. Is blah, blah, blah there? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, we're looking for meh. I'm like, sure, click. I told her that you need to call them and one, tell them never to fucking call me again, and two, figure out what the hell's going on. Here's what's going on. She was not scheduled for that day, but they decided to either just randomly switch her schedule and not tell her, or that they're going to fake it and just try and write her up. What the hell? I mean, she's one of those people that checks her schedule every day just in case, because she knows they'll do that shit. And she would tell me, because she doesn't always remember what her schedule is, so I keep track of it too. She was not scheduled that day. They still write her up for missed attendance. Are you fucking kidding me? Then they give her a warning, you have 2 more write-ups and then you're gone. That's bullshit. She told him, okay, I don't think I need to get written up for that because you switched the schedule on me without even telling me. And the second thing, why are you calling him, i.e. me, when he doesn't even work here anymore? Duh! The manager actually, the dumb bitch manager actually agreed with her on that one. It's like, yeah, they shouldn't be bothering calling him because he doesn't work here anymore. That's bullshit. Congrats on your one good fucking decision, you dumbass fucking manager. Anyway, now they have an agenda against her pretty much that they need to get rid of her. And anyone that has a mind of their own. And the only reason why I know this is because they just had a store meeting. They made it mandatory. Every employee at that store needs to be there to discuss store customer service. And what it really was here are the rules. If you don't follow them, your ass is terminated. There is no warning. And the whole time, they are just staring her down, my friend. Because she's the one that's starting all this shit now that I'm gone. It originally started with me. Now she's the lead here. And here's another thing. My buddy, the head, the back of house full-time person. I don't know if I mentioned him much, but he is awesome. He's been there for 12 years. He knows his shit. He's been there at that store at least longer than anyone that's worked there at that store. They're about ready to get rid of his position. He's on vacation. Not only on vacation, but fucking camping. And they're going to get rid of his position while he's gone because he has a mind of his fucking own. That's bull fucking shit, Toys R Us. Bull fucking shit. You can't do that to people, you dumb motherfuckers. I swear to fucking God. That is just wrong. That is just fucking wrong. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because they're managers, you know? And my friend wrote this poem. I don't know if I mentioned it. They say it was district and that it's at every store. I don't know if it's true or not. This poem was written in the break room. It was called I Am a Toys R Us Customer. And it was supposed to be worship or treat the customer well is what the, first glance shows. But it was more like the underlying message was worship me as your fucking dictator. Do everything I say, no excuses, do it. That's nice and all, but the underlying message was don't have a mind of your own pretty much. Don't do anything for yourself. Do as we say and don't dispute it. I mean, if it was just that one letter, that would be like, oh, that's kind of creepy, but okay. But since they're doing all this shit where anybody that has a mind of their own, they try and get rid of, that's bullshit. Fucking bullshit. And I mean, if they're doing this to their employees, and they're doing shit kind of like this to their customers, who the fuck would give these people their money? I mean, seriously. They're out to get their own employees. They're out to get your fucking money that nobody has anymore because, look, we're in a fucking recession. Fuck them. I mean, seriously, fuck them. No one should go to Toys R Us. Seriously, no one should go to Toys R Us. They treat everybody like shit, including their own. And if a company treats their own like shit, how do you think they treat their customers? That's fucking bullshit, right? Just saying, don't go to Toys R Us. For anything else, go somewhere else. I mean, at the very least, order stuff online from them. Don't even step foot in the store. Fuck, man. And this is just a basic Toys R Us store, man. The side-by-side ones, there's the Babies R Us and Toys R Us ones. Since they think since they're the bigger stores, they're the big shots. They don't have to do everything the right way. Fuck them. Just fuck them. Fuck them all. just fuck them all. All right, now that I got myself all worked up, I think I'm done. Um, if you like it, just hit like and subscribe and whatever. I'll probably do more um, actual reviews on places. Um, Maybe a few more rants. Now that I mentioned GameStop like 30 times throughout this one, I might as well do a GameStop one eventually. Um, yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'm not telling you to do anything. These videos are just meant as my opinion, so you can decide for yourself, really. So, yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.